Hey everybody, Jim Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. Well, I hope everyone survived Christmas. Boy, I tell you, I was under the weather. I think I might have gotten a little the COVID stuff, but hopefully I'm through that. I don't know what happened, but anyways, hopefully we're through with that, and we're back here in Dallas. It's very nice weather, kind of overcast, but pretty nice today. The market has moved from a from an uptrend under pressure to a confirmed uptrend, which is a very good thing. Definitely like seeing that go on, because it makes our lives so much easier. It's so much easier now that we can move back into things. So the market moves to a confirmed uptrend. And what do we want to do when this goes to a confirmed uptrend? Well, we want to come back into the market. I have almost been completely in cash. So, I'm trying to find something to buy. I was going to buy the Qs this morning. I'm still a little bit leery about the market, but I just kind of want to go through a few things, and we'll get to your questions. So the market is in a confirmed uptrend, which is a good thing, because now that the market is in a confirmed uptrend, we can start pushing back into the market. This is a tricky week of the year because it's right between Christmas and New Year's. I only have one stock right now, literally one stock out there, Invitation Homes. It's up today, doing very, very well. The home builders seem to be doing good, and this is the one thing that I hung on to. I'm looking for entry points into AMD and Nvidia in the tech space. Tesla is starting to look good again, once again. And, who knows? Hopefully we'll have a good new year here. But, for right now, it is looking like it is better than it's been. So that is indeed a very good thing. I want to just kind of go through just a few charts, and then we'll get into the questions. But the first chart I'd really like to show you is the Dow Jones Industrial. And that is up solidly today. I just wanted to kind of point this out. We tested on the 200-day, which is good. We're moving up. There was I was a little afraid of this spike here, but it looks as if this is a good pattern. Every day up and the volume decreasing. That means that we're starting to see some accumulation. So it looks as if and we'll see here. I've kind of found out that apparently Elon Musk has done his tax sale for the year, so we may be seeing some interest in, once again, back in Tesla, one of my favorite stocks. I've been out of it just because, it pulled lower, but it has moved up to that very critical $1,100 level. I'm very interested at this point. As you can see, we tested, and it's looking good. So I haven't bought yet today, but I am looking possibly to get back in. And I just want to show you the 10-minute chart on this. Very interesting. Getting support right about this 1090 level. This is Tesla we're looking at here. The reason I'm concentrating Tesla is because Tesla is sort of the bellwether, one of the bellwethers for the Nasdaq. What's happening is the big Nasdaq stocks like Microsoft and Amazon and Tesla, and Apple, they're getting a lot of the love, and so it seems as if now that Elon has stopped selling, I'm a little bit more confident that we might have some upward motion. So I'm probably going to look at it, tomorrow to see kind of how it fades, but I'm getting more confident that we are beyond. And I want to show you this. This is a reversal line that I'm drawing here. We've just come across that reversal line. As you can see, this is the reversal line, and we're just above that. And that is an excellent place to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that reversal line in there. We've just moved it in the reversal line. So now, according to my calculations, and we'll see what happens tomorrow, but this is looking very good. You see the relative strength line. It's moving up, which is good. Volume is very good. But what's more important is that we were in a downward trend. We have reversed the downward trend. And we're back into an upward trend. So it may be a good time to start looking, even though this isn't an ideal entry. And I'll be honest with you, this is not an ideal entry. We're fairly far, we're fairly extended off of the 40-day line. But this is where I'm kind of looking possibly to start moving back into some shares here, because this is sort of where, this is where I'm seeing the strength. I think it's going to pull back a little. Well, it's actually up and after hours. Going to see how this opens. It probably will open down, and then I think it may get some support here. So we will see. In the last 1, 2, 3, 4 trading sessions, Tesla has been looking good, and this is very, very good for the overall market. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to kind of take off some of my notations. I made a lot of notations, but I'm going to show you the reversal line. The buy point, the buy point right here at about on the pivot, there was a consolidation, 1243. We're getting right to 1100, so that is looking pretty good for me. I mean, that is looking good. This is the 1200. This is the top of the this is really where we're trying to see it move beyond this 1249. We're in actually a consolidation, which is excellent. So enough time has passed. We're in an upward trend, so we may be able to buy Tesla here finally again. And I would really like to get back into Tesla. I've been out for a while. When it started pulling back, that's when I was out, and now I'm back in. And why? Because it is reversed. So I kind of wanted to show you that. Very interesting. I think it's pretty interesting to see that. So we may be back to a situation where we can get back in. I also want to show you the Nasdaq. This has been the lagging. Interestingly enough, the Nasdaq. Let's see, has been not the leader, but the Nasdaq 100. This is what the QQQ follows. We did see an up day, so this is looking good. Now, why am I spending so much time looking at these indexes? Because this is going to kind of tell us when to get back in. Now, we did get a signal that the market has moved from a uptrend under pressure to a confirmed uptrend, and this is a good time to start moving back into the market. Now, an easy way to get exposure, of course, would be to go with the QQQ, and basically that tracks this Nasdaq 100 index that I'm going to show you here. So let's take a quick look at that, and that is the Nasdaq 100, and we're right out of a buy zone, but I'm confident. This is a cup and a very long handle. I was hoping that it was going to close above 400. I think it has, and I think at least for the time being, probably till the end of the year, this is not about entry point into the Qs. We may get a little bit of a pullback tomorrow, but I think that as long as we enter right about 400, that's going to be a good place for getting into the QQQ. Now, this is a great way to get, I mean, how many people can buy 100 shares of Google? This is a great way to get exposure. This is the top 100 stocks in the Nasdaq. So this is looking good. This is coming off of this cup base, and it's looking pretty good. So it's possibly time, to start putting the foot back into the water. I mean, it's looking much better, much better. Oh, okay. I have a question. Your link to your screen isn't working for me. Oh, you know what? You're right. I am so sorry. Let me see if I can. I don't know if I did. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can. I can put that. Let me just take a look at that link. Let's see if I can put that link up. Did I hope I didn't forget to put the link. So let me see if I can change that link. I'm having a difficulty with the link that I put up to the live show. So let me just see if I can rectify that. I don't know. I hope I did put that in there correctly. Let's see. Okay, well, it should work. Let's see. I just want to see if that is indeed good. All right. Let's see if I can. No, it should be working. It should be working. So let me make sure that that is the correct link. And that is all right. So bit.ly/DTF448. Here's what you can do if you're not seeing that. Just go to my just go to the just go to my profile, and you'll be able to see it that way. So that's a great way to go as well. All right, so I just want to check that link. Sometimes when I don't get those links proper, right as they're going in. So sometimes they don't quite work. Let's take a look. This is my first time using Bitly. Okay, cool. How do I connect to your stream? Well, the way you connect to the stream, it's actually on YouTube. And what you can do, it's very easy to do. All you have to do is go to my profile and then click, and you should be able to see. You should be able to see exactly what I'm showing. So hopefully you can do that. And if not, the URL is bit.ly/DTF448, and that should give you a stream. So I'm sorry, sometimes these things are not the best. Okay, do you know any info on Sumcone? You know what? What I'm going to be doing, and this is going to be a new part of the show, is I'm going to be concentrating a little bit more on some of the coins out there, and watch out for that. That's going to start coming up here, on into the new year, and I'm going to give you some trading strategies that I'm using for Bitcoin and Ethereum and some of the other coins that are out there. So hang on for that, and hopefully that will be a good thing. Okay. All right. Let's see if I can. How do I connect to your stream? Okay. It's Let's see if I can do this here. Let's see. Just how about this? Just go to www. Bitly / oops. It's always hard to do it when it's on here. Oh, ly bit.ly / see if I can put it out there for everyone. Okay, I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to try to do this. Let's see. HTTPS : dot ly / DTF448. Let's see if that'll work. Let's see if that'll work. All right. Okay, so hopefully that'll work. And we'll get that out there to everybody. So hopefully that went out. And so take some questions. Thanks for holding on. Thanks for being patient. Appreciate it very much. All right. First question, Samuel. Happy New Year. Let's take a look at SCI and see kind of what's going on there, and see if we're in a situation where that is a potential buy. Service Corp International. Now, this is a Houston-based company. You probably don't know a lot about it, but they run funeral homes, and they're doing very good, actually. So it's kind of an odd business, but hey, it's a profitable one. I mean, everyone has to use one of these once in everyone's life. They're probably going to be a customer. So they definitely have customers coming in. relative strength 92. It's right in the buy zone. This is a very good sale. Funeral services. I don't know why funeral services are doing so well. I have no idea why funeral services are doing this well, but they are. And it does look very good. This is the leader in the field. Service Corp. I want to look at the technicals on this one. It's up about 1% today. I think really what people are seeking here is certainty and safety. It's up 41% year over year. Now, first we're almost the end of the year, and it's almost got a perfect checklist. The only thing is sales. I guess people aren't dying fast enough. That's the main thing. Let's take a look at the fundamental analysis on it, just to see kind of how that's tracking. See if we can pass a smell test here. Now, typically, what we like to see in most stocks is we want to see about a 20% sales increase every quarter. It doesn't quite make that here, but this is a mature industry. This is not a Nasdaq stock. It's really an S&P 500 stock. But the profits have been doing well. So this seems to be, a fairly good state. This is really not my cup of tea. I probably would not be a buyer of this, but that's not to say it's not a good stock. That's not to say it's a good stock. Do we have a buy point here? Let's see what I can show you for the buy point. The buy point is 70.03 on this one. So let me just kind of put that out there for everyone. But, the buy point on SCI is 70.03. That's going to be your buy point, and so it's definitely viable right now. This is a good pattern. It's basically stair stepping with these with these flat base, what they call with these flat base patterns. So yeah, I mean overall the trend on this is very good. Remember, the trend is your friend. And now that we're moving into a new year, I guess with COVID and everything, maybe this will be a good one. I don't know. It's kind of gallows humor there, but this is looking very, very good. So overall here, overall, Samuel, I have to say this is looking pretty darn good. So yeah, you could definitely buy it here. 70.03 is the buy point on it. Very, very good. Very good chart. Not my cup of tea, but that's just me. It's just me. All right. Thank you so much, Kate. Thanks for watching. So appreciate it every time. And have a happy holidays too. I'm going to, hopefully this week I'm going to be trying to cover as much as I can. This is a relatively slow week in the market until New Year's. Most of the fund managers have their buys and sells locked in. This is kind of just tax balancing that's going on this week. But one thing I will say is that come January 1st, that's really when it really kicks off for the new year. And I hope that we have a little bit better year than we did this last one. This was a tough year. This is a tough year. Most all of the big funds, that are in tech, are down a little bit this year. So hopefully that won't be the case this year. But happy holidays to you. Thank you so much. And let's go to Roku. Roku, that means 6 in Japanese. It's a fun fact that I learned. I don't know why I remember that, but great company. Originally was part of Netflix. And of course, it spun off, and it's in its own right a great company. RUKU, Roku. So let's take a look. Well, if I could spell better, I maybe get this chart up. ROKU. Roku. There we go. Still in a downward trend. This is the, unfortunately, this is the danger of buying something that is in a downward trend. And that's the main thing here. We just don't want to get in these situations where we're buying in a downward trend, and that's definitely the case for Roku right now. So even though it's a great stock, and I have a Roku too, and this is like the third or fourth one I've had. They're pretty good. It's still in a downward trend, so we just don't want to buy this. As you can see, this is I'm putting the reversal line here. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to set and learn on that line, and the reason I do this is it's really this helps me. This helps me determine whether or not a stock is in an upward motion or downward motion. Now, here's a number of things about Roku that are kind of red flags. One of them is the 200-day line. It's trading below the 200-day line. The red line here, this is the 40-day line. It's crossed below that. That's called the death cross. Not a good stock. 12 relative strength. This, believe it or not, and I know this is hard to believe, but this one actually, if we have a sell-off in the market, if we have and which I hope we don't have, this one may be a candidate for a short, believe it or not, because this is the head, this is a shoulder, it's kind of a weak shoulder there, yeah, and then this is the other shoulder. Now, here's the thing: when you're looking to short, and you're looking to a shorting pattern, you're always going to have the left shoulder being a little bit higher than the right shoulder. This isn't really a good right shoulder, but what happens is it comes up to this crescendo, and then it breaks, and then when it starts to break, it crosses below the it crosses below the 200-day line, and then typically what will happen is it rallies to the 20-day, 21-day comes down, rallies, and then on its fourth or fifth rally, and that's definitely the case here, this is where you can see a tremendous drop-off. Now, I don't think this one's going to collapse, but I do want to show you a stock that I do have sort of in a short position right now. And if you've been following me in the Discord room, by the way, that's our great little community, you'll know that I have a short on Zoom. As you can see, Zoom, it was up a little bit today. It's up a little bit. It's up 1 cent after hours, but you can see the trend. I kind of want to show you the weekly trend on this. Yeah, the trend on this is downward. So I have a short on this one right now. I'm not shorting the shares directly. I have a bear put spread. Part of the reason is typically the best shorts are stocks that have run up and then now are kind of a little bit out of favor. If you'll notice, again, it broke below the 40-day line, broke below the 200-day line, and you notice how with this 21-day line, this is the green, how it will rally up to the line, and then it'll rally, and then it'll rally, and then it'll rally, and then usually by the third rally, that is an indication that it's probably going to go lower. And I definitely think that's probably the case with Zoom. The thing about Zoom is when Zoom first came out, it was absolutely unique and it did everything. But I think with Google coming in and other competition, everybody now has video conferencing. I mean, yes, Zoom is tremendous, easy to use, but it may be into trouble. So that's kind of something to look at when you're looking to short. All right. Santa Rally. Well, I'm hoping there's a Santa Rally. Gosh, we were waiting. I mean, I felt stupid saying that there's going to be a Santa Rally, and then all the way into, it was all the way into Christmas, and now the first day afterwards, we're finally getting a turn. I'm hoping that we're going to have this turn is going to be good, and we're going to get some more stuff. So, thanks for that, Drew. Squidward. Random question. Do you use? Oh, that's great. Random question. Do you use Roku or Amazon Fire Stick? You know what? I use Roku. I like it better, only because I've probably had it longer. I'm more used to it. The Amazon Fire Stick. The thing about Amazon, some of the Amazon products, I kind of feel they're part of the. I guess part of the thing is kind of my pure play thing. With Amazon and Alexa and all that stuff, I kind of feel like I'm being surveilled by them. I'm not really that excited about it. I think Roku is a little bit, though they do collect information, I think it's a little bit neutral third party, a little bit more neutral than Amazon. One of the reasons I don't like Amazon products, not that they're not great, is I just feel like I'm being surveilled. I mean, Alexa's listening in. Not that I have anything to hide, but it kind of creeps me out. I mean, it kind of creeps me out that Alexa's listening all the time, and I think Fire Stick is part of that. So I stick away from that. I go with Roku. But Roku probably is going to be built into everything either. So whatever. Okay, let's look at Amazon because this is a question coming in from TikTok. Great question. Now that I'm talking about Amazon, AMZN. And Amazon, it's this is one of the dangers in buying a stock when it's in a downtrend. I mean, at least it hasn't made its uptrend. There's a cup here, and there's this very, very nice handle, but the problem is you can see it hasn't reversed higher. So this is just strategically not a good place to buy it, and it's bounced. It definitely has bounced off that 200-day line. But why is the 200-day line that I'm showing everybody? By the way, if you're watching on TikTok, you can see everything that I'm doing. I can't show it, unfortunately, on TikTok yet. Now, in a few weeks, I'm going to be able to do that. They're adding some new features to TikTok that's going to allow me to simultaneously show all my charts, and I think you'll love this feature. It hasn't been rolled out to me yet, but I'm hoping it'll happen soon because I think a lot of people really, really will enjoy it. Now, the way we're doing it now, of course, is if you go to YouTube, and the easiest way to do that, just go to my profile, click, scroll the way down, and then you'll be able to just click on the YouTube version of it, and it's as it's live right now. So that's a really great way to get the feed doing that. So thanks for that. Let's see. Did I put this in? Did it work? I hope it did. Okay. Hopefully that worked. All right. Are we out of the dip? Boy, no, not yet. We are gaining strength. We definitely are gaining strength. We are definitely gaining strength. There's no question about that. No question about that at all. All right, next question. Thank you very much. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, Hildegard, thank you very much. I don't know if I can do this, Hildegard. I'm not sure I can pull this one up. Let me see if I can. I'm just trying to see. No, I can't. Unfortunately, I can't do it on this. I can't do it on. I don't have the software to read that. Unfortunately, wish I did. How do you find your usually daily options activity in MarketSmith? Good question. Well, it's really kind of more difficult in MarketSmith. What I usually find unusual activity is in Thinkorswim. That's a better way to find it. So, and I'm going to probably I'm probably need to put together a video on it, on how to do the unusual options activity. So that's definitely good. Hello from Russia. I'm glad you found us. All right. Oh, Kohl's. Your thoughts on Kohl's? Kohl's is having earnings, and I thank you for reminding me, because KSS has been a leader, and I was in it. I got shaken out about a month ago, but KSS, Kohl's, in the department store area is a leader. Oh, it's off a little bit. I'm just trying to think if it was. Let me just check to see. Let's just check on this. Check. 38 relative strength. Wow, God, lost a lot of relative strength quickly. Sounds like this is much stronger relative strength. Okay, 56 checklist. The area is still looking very good. I don't know. Let's look at news. Let's see if there's any news on it. I don't know if they reported. Oh, Macy's Kohl's blowout earnings. No, this is last month. Sorry about that. It's still looking a little weak. This chart is not as good as I'd like to see it. And it's trading below the 200-day line. I wish this is better, but this has got a double bottom pattern, so this is good. Double bottom pattern. This is probably not a bad place to buy it as it moves above the 200-day line. But I always just be careful on here. My thoughts on Kohl's right now is I think you just got to be. I think you just got to be patient. Unfortunately, it's hard to be patient, but I think you got to be patient. Look for better entry. I'm trying to look for the best setups that I can get and put them out there to everyone, because that's the thing in this market. it's tough. You almost got to buy in reversals, and this is tough. This is a tricky market to trade right now. It's kind of choppy, but hopefully now that we've gotten some market direction, it will be easier to get back into stuff. Thank you very much, Ricky. So appreciate it. Thank you. I hope you have a happy New Year too. I'll be on I'll be on right after New Year's too. I'm on all this week, so I'm back and after kind of taking a nap for about 2 days, I was really tired. Let's look at Nvidia. Also a tremendous stock. The two key stocks in the chip sector, and I think it's better, if you're a tech investor, I think that this is where you want to concentrate right now, is the chip sector and not necessarily the software sector. There's one exception, and that's Cadence Design, CNDS, which makes software that makes chips. So it's kind of in the chip and the software at the same time. But the stronger of the two sectors right now is the semiconductor fabless. It's the number one group. This is where we ought to be looking. Obviously, Nvidia is here. I drew the reversal line. It moved past the reversal line. Tomorrow, this is on my list to buy tomorrow because it did reverse higher. Now, normally I wouldn't buy this because it's very far extended. It's very, very far extended, but it looks as if we're going to start to see this thing live above the 21-day line. If we do, that's probably a good place to buy it. Now, normally, this is not normally a ideal place to buy it. The place to buy it is at the pivot or up 5%. But because we have this reversal, this is a potential. This is potential to buy. This is a secondary buy point. This is not a primary buy point. The question is, what else can we find out here? Let's look at the pattern rack, and it is pretty good. We're up 34% from the pivot 45 days ago, which is pretty good. This is the pivot back here. We're up, and then we pulled back a little bit, so we're testing. And again, I think this may move higher. The only thing that this doesn't have, and I'm really surprised at this, is the accumulation distribution rating. It's not A, B, or C, it's D, and I'm surprised at that because I do believe that this is the place to be, and I'm surprised that more funds are not accumulating Nvidia. Now, Nvidia's next earnings are way out here in February, so there's not a lot. If you were to buy it here, there's not a lot of risk in terms of the earnings risk because we've been through the earnings. They had great earnings. Look at that, up 50% on the sales, up 60% on the profits. You can't beat that. AI chips are in high demand, and this is the company that makes them. So that's also look good. Let's look at the companion though. I always, you can't really talk. Oops, I should be showing this chart. I'm telling all this stuff, not showing the chart. When you're talking about when you talk about Nvidia, you've got to talk about AMD because these are really these are the two top performing stocks right now in this sector. Now, I think in some ways AMD is probably the better of the two. Now, I like Nvidia a ton. I mean, I think it's just a great company. You see almost similar pattern here, up from this double bottom base, and then we're in here. Now, this is not as good an entry point as the one on Nvidia, but I do really, really like the stock, and I do think AMD is going higher in the new year. There's a lot of reasons for that. It's got a 100% checklist. Not unfortunately, I'm just looking for a good place to get in this. This is 98 relative strength, which is tremendous, and it's starting to move up. So, I mean, you can nibble here. It's still a little bit extended to me. I really don't want to buy it this extended, but it is AMD, and I think AMD is going to be this next year. This is going to be a very good year for AMD. Talking about really big performing stocks, I think I want to come back a little bit here to Tesla, because I do think that this is the bellwether stock. This is the stock that I think that you really have to watch. I was waiting for it to come above that reversal line. It did today. It's, this is a double bottom pattern. I don't know if you can see it here. You can see it on the pattern. This is a double bottom pattern. This is a very, very powerful pattern. This is a very, very powerful pattern that that Tesla has. And now that it's completed the top of this double bottom, this may be actually a very, very good entry point for Tesla. Now the question is, how much can it rally? I think it easily rally 10% or more. Now I don't know. It may take a month or two, but I do think that this is a good entry point. I think that it's very likely. I was doing some research on Tesla over the break, and it is definitely going to have a very, very strong earnings. Now, even as it stands, this is going to become, Tesla is going to become the earnings machine, I think, for earnings machines, at least in this year, because it already has a tremendous cash flow. Look at this, $5.16 per share. That's excellent. The sales have been going. By the way, and I talked a little bit about this in the Discord room this morning, is that I believe that there's a high potential that GM may go out of business in about 6 to 8 years. Now, I mean, who can predict that? But I mean, who predicted their first bankruptcy? The problem is the lead, Tesla's lead in EVs is accelerating, not decelerating, accelerating. And if they are able to reach their production goals, they're going to own something like 75% of the U.S. EV market. And right now, their vehicles they have a 20% profit margin. Everybody else is either breaking even or losing money. The best of the best non-Tesla EV maker is Ford, another company I'm very high on. But I can't say enough, right now about Ford. It looks as if Elon had to sell, I think, about 10% of the stock just to pay his taxes. Apparently, and I saw this thing he was on with Elizabeth Warren, who, she's embarrassing. It's sad. I mean, she's a Harvard professor, but she's a very embarrassing person, because she really is amazingly ignorant, and I don't think that's going to change. So Elon Musk is going to pay something like, I think it's his marginal tax rate, by the way, and the reason the taxes are coming to me is I just wrote my property tax bills this morning. Elon's marginal tax rate is 53%, which means that, think of that, the government makes more off Elon than Elon makes off himself. That's amazing. That's one of the reasons he moved to Texas, by the way. It's one of the reasons I moved to Texas. I'm originally from California. Little admission there. It's because not that I'm in the class of Elon Musk, not even close, but I couldn't stomach it. I was living in the San Francisco. I was actually living in San Francisco Bay Area, and I was literally paying. I calculated it was 54% marginal rate when I was living there. So it was too much for me, and unfortunately, I didn't have the almost like Elon with his billions. I was counting the change for the bus. Anyways, thank you. Great. Thank you very much. All right, so let's take a look. I'm the lost self. Oh, great, Colby. Thank you so much for taking a look. It's kind of complicated. Oh, there we go. All right, thank you. Oh, no, you didn't hold up anything. I've got to get better at showing what I'm showing. So anyways, I was talking a little bit about Tesla, and now I want to show you the other automotive stock. And I know I keep bringing this up. It's a broken record. This country is 120 years old, but I really like them, and that is Ford. And the reason I do is because this is an EV stock that is somewhat affordable. I'd say somewhat. The other EV stocks, I mean, it's true. Lucid makes a great product, but the problem is they don't have any production. Ford, on the other hand, has production. And I do think we're going to see from Ford Very, very interesting things happening now. Right now, if you bought, if you were in the stock, as I was talking to my some of my people, we basically came in here at the pivot, and the pivot was right here at about 1645. I don't know if you've been watching my show at all, but that's sort of where we came in. Let's see if I can put up some of my annotations. I think I have annotations on this one. Yes, I do. Okay, so this is kind of where we came in. As you can see, we came in the pivot, and then we did the correct buy. And this is how we bought for the last time. On 11.3, we added basically here, basically, you know, the buy point 16.45, and then we added here, and then we moved up. Now, I sold here, and the reason I sold is because of what they call the 20% rule, meaning that when you move up 20%, it's a good time to start taking profit. Now that it's starting to consolidate once again, this may be potentially, and we're early, we're not ready to buy yet, but this may potentially be another great entry point for Ford. I do think Ford, unique among the American manufacturers, is going to do well. Now, I want to kind of look at the checklist because that's important. And the earnings per share rate is it's not earning as much as I'd like to see it. The margins for Ford are not as good as Tesla, not even close. The earnings per share again is down, and the sales are down. This is concerning, and this had to do with the fact that they were doing very well in their EVs, but they were off in terms of their F-150 supply chain issues, that kind of thing. And they did have a slight, this last quarter, they did have a little bit of a profit issue. Now, the next earnings are coming up in February. Now, would I buy it here? Well, I want to wait to see if there's a pattern that develops, and I think it will, and then we may be getting back in this one. But remember, this is probably the two best EV makers right now, in my opinion, are Ford and Tesla. Now, be careful with GM. GM is having all kinds of problems. Nobody's talking about it. They're lying. They've even got the White House lying for them. It's amazing. So it's just amazing how, you know, how we're manipulated in this country. It's just I don't want to be too vocal about this because they might pull the plug on me, but it's just amazing how manipulated we are in this country. GM is doing horribly. Their margins are terrible. They're actually losing share now. They blamed their sales decline on the chip shortage. Well, Tesla uses about 10 times more chips, and they are selling cars out of their book. You can't get a new Tesla, at least here in Texas, because I checked, until September. You've got to sign up, put a deposit down, and then maybe they'll get back to you in September when you can buy one. Well, believe me, you can go to any GM lot in America, and you can buy a truck. Now they may try to jack you and say that they're in high demand, but they're really not. The 60,000, the era of the 60,000 truck, I think it's going to hang on for a while. It's profitable, but you know, I think EVs, it's going to be tough to beat them, and you know, because they're going to be cheaper to manufacture. That's the main thing Tesla has an advantage on. EVs are cheaper to manufacture if you can get to scale. Now, the problem is most car companies out there cannot get to scale. And I suspect that Ford will be able to get to scale. I suspect that Tesla will be able to get to scale. I'm not so sure that Toyota is going to get to scale anytime soon. I think that Hyundai will get to scale because they're extremely well-run company. BMW maybe. Daimler is going to have trouble. It's. I tell you, in 5 years, the automotive industry could look very, very different than it is now. And I think, you know, part of the thing is we may be driving EVs. I mean, probably my next car will be an EV. Believe it or not, I never thought I'd say that, but even here in Texas. So there you go. Kobe, what type of trader are you, swing or day? I am a swing trader. I am not a day trader. To tell you why I'm not, that's a great question. I appreciate that very much. The reason I am not a day trader is because when you are dealing with day trading, you're trying to fight against the algorithms, and it's very, very, very difficult. So I'm a swing trader. I use the Canslin method, which, if you're not familiar, is a great one. By the way, if you want to learn more about that, just go to my profile. If you're on LinkedIn, just go to my profile or www.Dallas Trading Floor, and I have a little link in there to how to make money in stocks and winning system, good times or bad. Definitely something that you want to take a look at. But I am a swing trader and not a day. There we go, back in the stream. Okay, there we go. All right. So, day trading was a lot better prior to the advent of programmatic trading. 65% approximately of all shares are traded programmatically now. So day trading just doesn't work as well as it used to. It's a lot more difficult to make money that way. You can make money that way. There's a lot of great traders that way. I use options a lot to do that, but I'm what they call a swing trader. That's sort of how I roll, and it works very well. And I think you'll find I'm always looking in very directional in my trading. So there you go. All right, let's get to some of the other questions from Samuel Etsy. Let's look at Etsy. And Etsy, ETSY. This is a tremendous stock. I like Etsy a lot. Unfortunately, I don't like their chart. I wish I liked their chart more than I do. This is Etsy's chart. We had this beautiful buy point here on a consolidation. It came up through there, but it so often happens when you come through these consolidations, you'll come up. It will. Now, what am I talking about? What am I talking about? What a buy point is it's an area of resistance. What happens is when a stock trades, typically it will trade within a band with a low and a high, a floor and a ceiling. Well, when it moves past typically the ceiling, it moves through what they call a pivot or a buy point. And sometimes it has enough power to pierce through it, but many times it doesn't. It'll come up there, and then that buy point pushes it back. It makes another attempt, and then it comes up, and then it pushes it back, and then it comes up again. So when you're buying, and this is the tough thing with entries, usually sometimes the first breach of the buy point is not the one that's going to win. Usually it's the second or the third, and this is a very, very hard thing to do. And this is definitely what happened here. It moved through the buy point, but it just wasn't enough to sustain it. Right now, I mean, it's a good stock. It's 80% relative strength, but there's better merchandise out there. I think what you have to do with Etsy is just kind of put it on the watch list right now. I want to see some more strength. Here's another thing. The retail internet sector right now is doing very poorly relative to the rest of the market. This is one thing I also watch very, very carefully is which parts of the market are getting the love. Right now, the number one sector in the stock market for investment by funds is the semiconductor fabless, and that's where Nvidia and AMD are. Let's go to that one. I just think that it's just worth showing where the money is going, and this is kind of where we ought to be looking for opportunities. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go down on my handy dandy list, and I'm going to go down here to industry groups, and then I'm going to go to the let's go to the industry group rank this week, and of course this is going to be for last week's data. So we're going to go from the highest to the lowest. Now, number one is electronic semiconductor fabless, and number two is trucking. Can you believe that? Trucking. And then number four, and this is why Samuel, your question initially about SCI, about Service Corp International was so good, is because that is the number 6 area. It's very defensive, but interestingly enough. So let's look at the number 1 area right now that the funds are investing in, and That is the electronic semiconductor fabless. And we want to look to see, first of all, who's in this. Second of all, who the best ones are. So let's look at the stocks that are in the group. There's a lot of stocks. Of course, Nvidia is number one. This is the number one stock. And this is the one, unfortunately, I wish there's a little bit better setup on this one. It's not bad. Broadcom, Qualcomm, and then AMD, Marvell Technologies, NXP. I can't really say much, than Ambarella. There's some really good ones in here, but the ones I'm really concentrating on are AMD and Nvidia. Those seems to be doing the best. I want to just take a look at Xilinx. So one of my favorite stocks over the years. This isn't particularly in a great pattern, but it is a good stock, and it looks as if it's starting to move above that 40-day line. So they're looking pretty decent as well. There's just a lot of good stocks that we want to be looking at. But remember, we want to be careful about our entries, even though we've just moved into a uptrend under a confirmed uptrend. We still want to be careful with our entries. Here's some of the stocks that I'm currently looking at, not in yet. I will give you, by the way, if you want to get on the action trailers, I'm trying to put together something to do texting when I get in and out of stocks. I'm working on this now. Don't have it totally down yet, but I'm going to hopefully have that soon. So I want to look at Marvell. This is another stock I really like. There just isn't. The problem right now is that the setups on this area, the setups in semiconductor fabless just aren't as good as I'd like to see them. Let's look at Rambus. I had Rambus. I made money and I sold it. Rambus, that's interesting. Rambus is a good company. It's an old company, by the way. Been around a long time. You can see where I bought it there, and then I sold it. Yeah, see where I bought here, and then I wrote it up, and then I sold it. Probably should have sold it, but I made my money, so I was pretty happy with that. That's where I bought my full position, right here, and then up from there. So this is a sector that I really like. Money is flowing into this. Why? Because, well, let's be honest. This is probably there's a few sectors of the economy that are just mission critical, and this is it doesn't get pretty much more mission critical in modern society than this. Let's look at Lattice. Lattice. Okay, that's actually good. This might be an opportunity. Lattice Semiconductor looks like it's breaking a downward trend. Let's take a look. All right, there we go. Boom. Okay, we have sort of a winner chicken dinner. So I'm going to set an alert on that. And what this is that you can see this little line that I drew here. What I'm doing when I do this is I'm seeing when it's changing direction. Now you'll notice from about November over here to just right a few days ago, there was a downward trend. It looks as if it's now starting to it started to turn up basically in mid-December, but as it gained strength, it then reversed higher. So this is the first time that we have seen it reverse. So this is going to be good. I'm going to put this on my list. This is Lattice Semiconductor, LSCC. And I want to take a look at a few more things. This may be in a situation where we can buy it. Look at that, 100% checklist. I'm loving that. Okay, 100% checklist. That's very good. The pattern rack on this one, we're at 48%. So we're in about this is doing very well. Pattern rack is good. Let's look at the technicals. We're up 4%. Basically today, month we're sort of flat. So we're quarterly. Okay, so we're starting year to date 65%. Wow, this is here you go. This is why it pays to look at this. If you imagine if you put 100,000 in this at the beginning of the year, wow, you'd be worth $160,000 right now. That would be great. So Lattice Semiconductor, LSCC. This is one I think it might continue to move up. Why? Because of the chart. So looking very good. All right. I may be in that. Okay. Can we short Chewy? Chewy's probably a good one to short, by the way. Many years ago, I was in Silicon Valley, a long time ago, back when the dinosaurs were ruling the earth. And I was so impressed. I met a programmer, and I was so impressed. He worked for Pets.com, and I thought, wow, he's really a smart guy. Of course, if you remember the story, Pets.com basically was sort of the .com version of a one-hit wonder. They spent all the money they had on a Super Bowl commercial, and the next month they went under. So it's a famous one. You should Google it. It's great. It's called Pets.com. CHWY. Now this seems like Pets.com reincarnated. Yeah, this is a horrible chart. This is a really bad chart, and it may be a good short. So not, the great thing about the stock market, especially if you can use options, is you don't have to rely on a market going up or being good. Because the great thing about options is this might be a good short. You are very perceptive, Samuel. Sorry. You're very perceptive, Samuel. We've, it's below the 50. Okay, so this is, okay, so this is the head. There we go. It's very nice. And this is the right shoulder. Okay, and so we have, okay, so we've come up to the 21-day line. Okay, yeah, this is not a bad shorting position. You're right, because it's come up to this the 21-day line is usually where it lacks support. What'll happen is it'll rally to the 21-day, and then it'll pull back, rally, pull back, and such and so. And this one, $60. Yeah, this one could be a good short. Look at this. It's got a 17 relative strength. That's pretty horrible. Okay, let's look at the industry. 159. Okay, that's bad. Checklist, terrible. Pattern rec. Let's look at that. Yeah, it's off 15% from its pivot almost a year ago. So we are below. So okay. So really, look at this. This is interesting. So we had we had our, that was the peak. This was sort of the left shoulder, and then we had sort of a right shoulder, but we didn't really have it. So it seems like it's here. This is a good short. I think we could short Shui. Let me put this on the list for a CHWY. Okay, short. I'm going to put this on my list. By the way, I'm going to try to construct a short. Now, I don't like short directly. I used to like to use puts. I don't like to use naked puts either. I used to use spreads, and that way you control your risk. But this is looking very good, Samuel. Thank you very, very much for that. Very, very nice. Let's look at Upstart and take a look. We're almost at the end of it. Oh, it's gone quick today. Let's look at Upstart, UPST. Looky at that. Ooh, this is not a good look either. Look at that. Wow. It's up and it's down. The funny thing about Upstart is I do like the concept of this company, but for some reason it just isn't making it work. I mean, they're up here in 400, and I don't know. This, the thing is, would I short it here? Good question. Good question if I would short this. I don't think I would right now because I want to see it rally a little bit. Let's see it rally a little bit more. Boy, this is really bad. This is a bad chart. Look at the technicals on it. Oh, it's up 8% today. Dead cat bounce. Options, checklist. Yeah, this is not really good. Looking good. Now, I wouldn't go long in this one. I just, no, I wouldn't. I would not go long on Upstart. So don't go long. Don't go long on Upstart. Don't go long on Upstart. It's not a one. It's not what you want to do. Nope. So you don't want to go long on Upstart. So not looking good. All right, this is probably going to be the last question because it's just about an hour. Thank you very much, everybody. Oh, hey, Mark, thank you for dialing in. Hey, Sam. Oh, Jim. Oh, hey, thank you very much, and I hope you did too. I hope you had a great time out there in Rhode Island. I love Rhode Island, especially Newport. I was in the Navy many years ago in Newport, Rhode Island. So you probably know where that is. Okay, well, thank you very, very much, everybody. I will be back tomorrow, hopefully at a better time. I was a little bit late the day. I got stuck on a call that I couldn't get off of, and hopefully at 3:45 tomorrow we'll be back. Back live here on Dallas Trading Floor. Thanks everybody so much. Oh, wait a minute, last question. What do you think about Baba? Oh, Baba, I think is probably not. You're not going to want to hear me. Yeah, it doesn't look good. Yeah, this shows my bear put, my second bear put spread. Yeah, it's got, this is a tale of woe. I'm afraid. As you can see, this shows where I shorted first, and then I shorted again, and I just think it's going lower, but I wouldn't short it right now. I think the juice is out of it. I think really the ideal place to short something is when it comes up to that 21-day line, and it's like the third try. I don't know why 3 works, but it does. It comes down. It'll rally, and then usually in that third one, that's where you want to kind of stick the knife in. I don't think Baba's looking too good. I hope you're not in Baba. If you're down more than, here's the one thing: if you're long on Baba and you're down more than 7%, just please do this. Please consider selling. Please, 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 please. If you're down more than 7%, please consider selling. I don't think this one is. I think this is going below 100. I really do. So, with that said, thanks everybody. Thanks again. And oh, by the way, just a little plug, shameless plug, and that is if you want to get on the list for our action trade alerts. And this is great. This is free, by the way, totally free. Just go to www.dallastradingfloor.com. I think I can show you on, show you that. Yeah, dallastradingfloor.com, and sign up there. And that's a great thing, and it's free. Also, if you're on TikTok, you can see this episode and get on the action trailers. Just go to my profile, click on the link, and you'll be good to go. So, until tomorrow, I have one more. Yeah, right. Yeah. I agree. Okay. All right. Thanks, man. All right. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. So appreciate it. And I'll be back. And I hope to see you back here tomorrow at 3:45.